YouTube, hello. Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brant, playthrough number dos. I'm your homie Davvon. I will put this out there really fast. I had some issues with the sound file. I had already recorded this portion and found out that my file was corrupted and was messed up. So I had to go back, start a brand new game, make all the same choices, and bring us back to the exact spot we left off, and this is where we're at. So without any further delay, let's play. The Shadow of the Past. Another school day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty, the three estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least, it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet, her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several distant Magran towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Lydia Brant. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity. Fervent sincerity. Her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Lydia Brant. Davvon Jr., my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me, about our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle, so how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, Davvon Jr., your father, when his first wife, Amelia Albourne, died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humbled and honored his lot to rule, but he took me by force. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is the name Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with low-born progeny? He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. Lydia Brant. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine, and I believe that, at that very moment, the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me there was nothing he could do to make the detestable nobleman marry me, but he would never abandon me and baby Gloria, and if I agreed, he would take me into his home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honor and reputation would suffer. But caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose and his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we had heard about the Brants all over Anazat. It was only thanks to the efforts to Sir Gregor that the Brant bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation. And now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal. Thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what it is she is telling you? Lydia Brant. My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear, including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Brant. Even if the elder Brante agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society. And if that were to happen, Davvon Jr., they would see even your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, son. You're about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But may I ask you a question? Now that you know all this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? Well, of course. Of course we see her as our sister. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and always will be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brant too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anazat say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Davvon Jr., if only you knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. Lydia Brant. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much. A home, an education, his care and advice. The Brant bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as it is. Almost skipped that. Just then you hear Gloria carefully knocking at the door of Mother's chambers. Gloria. Mother, Davvon Jr., I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yes, she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brant family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. I will just put this out here. This will not be as long of a recording. This is not going to go the full hour. I actually spent most of my day on a live stream on YouTube, kind of gaming the day away. Yeah, and I knew I was going to be pressing for time to get this out today. And we would have been fine if my file hadn't corrupted. So this is going to be a little bit, or quite a bit shorter. I do got to go to work in about 5 hours here. And a little bit of sleep beforehand would be nice. I do apologize. I kind of stress my time to last possible minutes with work and all that and the family and all that stuff. So I try to fit all of my YouTube work in together in a very small window. And if I can't fit it all in the window, it's kind of got to be saved for a different spot. And I do apologize for that. I should probably not have spent most of the day gaming XD. Year 1131. Fall, the flash in the flame. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the 3 estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other 2 estates accordingly. Tomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all this from Mother many times before. You take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at you, one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he just said. Brian freezes and seems to think. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flush, and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron brown book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash! The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic! Real magic! Just like the books about the Magra Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There's a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes, sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers and the book of Assacius on the desks turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps towards the door. You and Tomas glance at each other. Tomas Guerrero. He's gonna burn the whole school down! Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Tomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Tomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Tomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon 3 men in black cloaks enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict with silver, the Inquisition. You and Tomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Masquero, +1. Easy, 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 easy. The nobleman's lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed, to rule over the empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his own noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. Soon, Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double, but he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. Nathan Brant. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Charmalanda's place. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Charmalandidus, the rebellious duke, the ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in its sheath. Stefan Brant. Get ready, Davvon Jr. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. Little rhymes. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being. So why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Stefan Brant. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brant, but father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Brant too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Charmalandidus' palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remains are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass, sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble. But don't you worry, you lobo and tart. We're gonna teach you your place. The one aloud spits at Gloria as she lies there. Stefan Brant. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones, which break your bones, but that's not always the case. But anyway, Stefan Brant, stay by my side. Don't let them flank me. Stefan's hand shakes, but he looks ready for battle. He is outnumbered. For a moment, you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. Well, we're going to follow our brother's orders. I can't remember if I died this last time or not. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. You follow your noble brother's orders. You take a moment to grab a stick, and then you are at Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the louts lunges at your brother with a stone, but you hit him with the stick, and he falls down right at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes. The blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. He wheezes. Blood starts pouring onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an inscrutable mask, and returns to his fighting stance. You are stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they are about to flee. There is rage and confusion on their faces. They never expected the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. Stefan Brant. Lowborn scum, that's all you are. This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up. We're going home. He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall now. They hit you hard, in the stomach, then the face, then the side of the head. Then your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying in your bed. Stefan is in the armchair next to you, reading a book. He is alive, with left arm in a sling and a black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks up from the book. Stefan Brant, don't try to get up. You've lost a lot of blood. I suppose that was a few thugs too many for a single warrior, even with good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders, the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. We defended the family's honor together. You know, brother? The nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage, not to fight everything you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak, and a noble mustn't suffer like people of the lone-born lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. There are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition, it's tough. But it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is approval in your brother's eyes for this first time in a long while. Stefan Brant. It was a pleasure to fight side by side, brother. Oh, we did it. We got some sympathy. We are unprincipled. Yeah, whatever. We take it. We take those gains. Trial of the assailants. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of lowborn thugs assaulted Stefan Brant. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Alborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazot until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Robert Brant. Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire in all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it, and so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, a born nobleman, have committed grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. Gloria, the trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too, as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I'll become a part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. Gloria, if Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he take me into the house at all? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There is a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind you and sits next to you. There is an exhausted look about him. Robert Brante. Son, you'll be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria was not at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The lowborn men insulted Stefan first and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs, her poetry, her greatest treasure scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she is a part of the family? But if you do what father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you, what is right or what is just? I'm sorry, but I can't turn my back on Gloria. But if we support... this one I'm torn because like my decision. Okay, so my decisions last game tore the family apart because of our reputation getting destroyed. I'm gonna support father just to have a change, just a little bit of a change. You nod in agreement. You will follow the family's plan for the trial to the letter. A faint smile appears on father's fatigued face. Robert Brante, thank you, son. This is an important case for our family and for me as well. I appreciate your support. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are seated next to Father and Stefan. You testify to the court, one after another. You echo your brother's testimony to the letter. The young commoners insulted you as you were both walking by the ruins. Then they insulted you. Stefan defended you. The lives of the four thugs are forfeit. Sir Elborn rises to deliver the sentence. Augustine Elborn. The court of Anazad judges you guilty of assaulting Stefan Brante, nobleman. All four defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the halls. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everybody in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it is stern and just. That very power has been invoked by this sentence, and by that very sentence, the lives of the four young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stefan and grandfather stand in the front row. The wood creaks. The trapdoor opens onto the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Father lets out an inaudible sigh of relief. It is all over now. When Gloria comes back home that day after she refuses to eat dinner and locks herself in her room. Before she leaves, however, you notice a scratch on her face and her hair is disheveled. You go to her room and knock at the door, but she will not open. Then she finally replies, she has already gone to bed and you should leave. What? Did you do the right thing during the trial? Your sister is still being bullied. No one knows she has family to defend her, and Gloria does not want to be defended now. Those four commoners saw no mercy. Their lives ended for assaulting a nobleman. What did you seek to prove with this, and to whom? Was it worth it in the end? I kind of regret it now. We lose one, but do we gain? Okay, so our reputation went up. Okay, I sacrificed I sacrificed a little relationship with Gloria for the sake of getting reputation, because in the long run, me not defending our family's reputation at all screwed us. Year 1132, 14 years of age. I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Again, like I said, I had Adolescence finished, and it got corrupted, and it's kind of a very big moment for me. I was not very happy. I'll just leave it at that. So I appreciate everybody that took the time to watch. I apologize that this episode is this short. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video as well. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.
Want to get some music for this?
Nope.
How long was that go?
You said 30 seconds.
How long have I been going?
10.
You got the movie right?
I have no idea. I'm not even
Is it
watching.
30 long?
No comment.